Welcome to the third episode of As Sweet As, and today on board is Mihil Ramaiya. Mihil, can you introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. I'm Mihil Ramaiya, and I am currently working as a software developer in HelpShift. So, we build apps. If you have Mintra, PUBG, or Ghana installed on your phone, you're secretly there in your phone. As far as my diabetes is concerned, I was detected a couple of years back in May and have been doing great ever since. My hobbies include sleeping. I have no special talents like most of the people you speak to, but then yeah, I just go.
You love
do my-
sleeping.
yeah, I love sleeping.
Lovely.
I do my job, and in my free time I sleep.
So, when were you detected as a diabetic, and how was your first reaction, yours and your family's?
So I would like to make a shameless plug to my doctor's expression as well. So what happened is I kept on losing weight,
Right.
and I thought it's fine because I have some belly and I was kind of losing it. Though it doesn't seem like it that I had a belly, but I did have. And so I called up a friend of mine who's a doctor, and she said maybe you should get tested for diabetes. So okay. So I ate my lunch and I ended up at my doctor's clinic around 6 o'clock, which is like 4 hours after lunch. She asked me to put my hand in the glucometer and it read 413.
Okay.
And she stands up and she's like, "Arey, ye kya ho gaya?" So not only me, but even the doctor was scared. And she'd seen me since 20 years and she'd seen me grow. And
But
seen
did you
four-
have any, sorry, just interrupting, did you have
Yeah.
any symptoms apart from weight loss? You said you were losing weight and you called her up, but did you have any symptoms, any specific symptoms during that period? Because you're saying you got diagnosed just a couple of years back.
Yep.
So that's when, and did you have any symptoms?
Uh, Point one, it was summer.
Okay.
I obviously was feeling thirsty. I was peeing a lot. Did not know that this was a diabetic symptom.
Right.
But then gradually I kind of figured out, and the stuff I've gone through, right? So I already had the symptoms of diabetes, and one day I went for Avengers. I had so after the movie I had sabudana vada. I drank lemon soda. I ate sandwich, momo, and shake. And I think that day my sugar would have touched 4 digits, but I did not realize it because I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was your reaction when, that reading came in?
I kind of was prepared because my friend who was a doctor had told me that you may have diabetes, and yeah, I knew
You were okay
that
about
something was wrong with me. I didn't know whether it was type 1 or type 2 for the first 2 months of my diagnosis. So that was a little dangerous, and yeah.
So you did the C-peptide
Yes, I
test.
did. Yes.
And how about your mom? How did your parents take it?
Okay. So mom was okay. She still is more tense than I am. I am relatively chill because they are away. They don't know what our sugars are, right? So all the time you have to give a report to the high court that okay, mom, 100. Okay, mom, 150. So it's chill, but now she kind of trusts me with my carb counting and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fine now.
So it's fine now.
Yeah.
So she's also getting used to being normal.
Yeah, and thinking like a diabetic. That's important. That I would like all your family members to think like diabetics, and that's how they develop an empathy towards you,
Right.
right? Else, imagine the entire family is eating some sweets, and they force you to eat. That will do no good to you or them, right?
Correct.
So yeah.
So you feel that obviously the awareness with the family members and their support is very important.
Yes.
And how did you get them aware?
So first step was to get myself aware.
Right.
Sai, like a lot of you must be knowing Sai. So Sai and I used to share blogs with each other. We used to read around 10 articles daily, and that's how we got educated. And an important thing is experimentation, right? A lot of people read blogs and blindly believe stuff, what is
Right.
written online. They don't know that it cannot be substituted for medical advice.
Right.
Like nothing written online can be you require a doctor.
Yeah, you need a doctor, and also you need to try, right?
Yeah, experimenting is very important. So one common thing that I found between both of us is that a lot of people say advocate low carb, right?
Right.
But the two of us have found in runs advocating dal chawal, right? And that's
Welcome, even I do that.
so that's what I mean. So uh, so that's what the two of us are advocating dal chawal, and that's actually important kind of for
Right.
nutrition. And I mean, come on, it's dal chawal.
Because you are diagnosed recently, probably maybe you were working or you just finished college.
Yeah.
I have been a diabetic for a long, long time, 30 years. And what helped me, the awareness came is by reading, by knowledge.
True.
Continuously reading things and experiment. I love experimenting too.
Right.
So the trial and error was very important. Secondly, we have beautiful doctors. So actually, Dr. Yadnik, again, I must thank him. He let me do what I want. There was no restriction, He will not tell you, don't do this, don't do that. He said, do this and let us know what the result is.
Right.
So trial and error helped you more getting aware.
Yeah.
And then how you taught that you educated your parents, or they were also reading about it or something like that?
Initially they were always suspicious of every move of mine, like all parents are, right?
Right.
But later on they got to know the reasoning behind it.
Correct.
And it's not only important to educate parents on it, it's important to educate your peers, it's important to educate your office people on that, or your classmates on that.
Right.
Come on, what if they find you lying down one day, right? They're supposed to test you on the glucometer before giving you insulin or sugar. Right, so that's something which is really important, which I want to get across to all of you.
Right.
Yeah.
So now when you're working,
Yeah.
are the people aware around you that you have diabetes, and do they know what has to be done in case of emergency situation?
Okay. So once there was Chinese food in my office, and one of my peers walked up to me and like, "Hey, did you count your carbs properly, or are you skipping this meal?" So that's the level of awareness
You created?
Yeah.
Lovely.
So all of them, and in fact, my friend just found me taking a shot for a cup of coffee, which I may or may not do. So she's like, "Are you hyper?" And that's the kind of awareness my friends have.
So they're using the terms which usually only diabetics use, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's a really good
What
thing.
about you? Like, do your friends know about this?
Also,
And,
I have been a diabetic since the age of 9,
Right.
and they definitely, so they are aware about it, but the terms I don't know, because I've been very well managed. Luckily, till now, I needed no help. I have, whether I've had a hypo or a hyper, I could manage. But my teachers knew it because I was the only diabetic in the school.
Okay.
So my teachers knew it. My friends all knew it because I used to take my injection in front of them. So we go to college and take a shot. So they used to generally see my face, but when I was tired, they used to ask me, Pooja, is everything okay? So that is everything okay? It took everything related to diabetes for me. I said I'm doing good. So even now when I go to some classes, like especially my Pilates class, the teacher is quite aware. So I usually, so yesterday I had a hypo. Means the sugars were dropping, so I wouldn't do the exercise. I first took something to eat, and everyone, and there are doctors also in that class. Like, Pooja, are you okay? So then should I get you some dates? And they are no, and then they relieve you. Then they won't be behind you,
Right.
and then I will continue. So awareness is there enough, and I've definitely been creating awareness because I have a type 1 who's a tennis player. So at least at the course, all her trainers know she's a diabetic, and they know if it's a low sugar and high sugar, what she needs to do. So it's just, you have to communicate. And it's very important for people to know, nothing to hide. Why do we hide things? That's the worst thing, to hide as a diabetic, because in emergency situations, nobody will help you. So one thing is also I carry a I'm a diabetic card. B, at least where I'm working, like, Medhavi knows I have diabetes. She's been working with me. My parents know it. I'm usually here. And then when I'm with my friends, they know it. So at least the surroundings, they know it well. With whom you're traveling, with whom you're living, or with whom you're working, no. Very, very important to know.
True.
So that, they also, because there could be a change in behavior. So they know that something is wrong.
Right.
If something goes really like, if you generally, I don't get very angry, but if at all I get angry, they know, okay, something is wrong with it.
Right.
So awareness has been created, and I don't feel anything wrong about it, and I don't like to hide things. I would like to say, okay, I'm a diabetic, you better don't force me with anything.
Yeah.
Because many times when we go out, people don't know it. They want to make you eat by love. But then when you say now, it's more respected. But it was not so when I just got diagnosed. I am talking about 20 years back. Even they're forcing, after you're telling them, they didn't understand. But in the 30 years, the 3 decades, there has been more awareness created.
Yeah, that's a great thing. In fact, I need to make this point. So we go for tea every afternoon around 3 p.m.
Right.
All of us office mates, and they know one thing. I take tea without sugar every day,
Right.
and they know another thing. That if I take tea with sugar, means something's wrong with me.
Correct.
So they know that. So that is important. And one more thing is always, it make it a point to carry your insulin and your glucovitas with you. I don't need to tell you guys why, but yeah, please make it a point to do
So
that.
that's very good. So you're on the insulin pump, pen, sorry.
Yes.
And I'm very glad you've carried a glucovita. In fact, you were coming to my office, and but it's a good thing, wherever.
Yeah. I
you
mean,
go.
what if I get hypo on the road?
Right.
So.
And are you using a Libre or are you using a checking machine? Or how do you check your sugars?
Okay. So one more point I wanted to bring across is I believe in using a CGM. I'm on a Libre, and I cannot control my sugars or anyone who asks me for help without a Libre. For the simple reason is consider your sugar is 70 on a glucometer.
Right.
What's your general tendency to have sugar, right? Or to eat one
Eat
entire
something. Yes.
glucovita, bolt. But what if you're rising from 66 to 70 and then you're going to 100? You don't know that thing on
A normal
on a
machine,
glucometer.
yes.
Yeah, only a CGM can tell you that. So these direction arrows, right? They
Right.
make CGM the real deal. And I prefer, like people say that I don't have a reader, I don't have a reader. Why do you need a reader? Glimp already has arrows, the reader does not have arrows. Glimp greater than the reader is what I wanted to tell everyone.
So you're on the Libre. I am
Yes.
using the Medtronic pump, and I'm also on the CGMS.
Okay.
And I get to see my reading, or I get to see the graphing continuously. It's just there. And I was so right now the reading shows it's dropping. So before the conversation I just said let me just have something. So
Right.
my sugars are even 112, but I know when it's showing dropping, and it also shows the number of units.
Right.
So there are more chances. So it's again how you anticipate it. So as you said it may be from 67 to 70, but here in my case many times 112 could get to 60 or 50.
True.
So it depends on every body type, but
Yes.
definitely CGMS has helped you.
Yes, it's been a game changer. With the help of a CGM, thanks to a CGM, I've been able to bang in 5.9 A1Cs for the last 6 to 9 months.
Lovely.
So with
That's a great thing.
yeah, thanks. With around an 80% time in range between 70 and 180. Yeah. So again, don't go on the A1C, go on the time in range is what I would say. Like the importance of that.
Correct.
So
Because a 3 months average can be wrong. Because
yeah,
if
definitely.
if the 50% times you're on a high sugar and a 50% it's low sugar, average is going to be good.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you set any range on your CGM? Like for me, I will say a lower limit is 60, and higher I don't want my sugars to go beyond 180.
Okay.
So what the insulin pump does is it sets alarms.
Right.
So when it's getting closer to 60, it'll switch off the pump, and when it goes closer to 180, it'll give alarm. So I want to be in that range so that then the A1C comes better, right?
Right. Right.
So how do you do it on the Libre?
I started my so I was a diabadass. I started my range from 70 to 200 when I initially was on the CGM. As soon as I reach a 70% time in target, I reduce my range by 10 points. And that's how I reached around 140 today. So I keep my range between 70 and 140. And I'm at 62% in range today between 70 and 140. So once I reach 70% there, I'll reduce it to 130 maybe, right? That's the first point. And the second point which I want to ask you is that, thanks to the CGM, right? You know that your sugars are rising.
Right.
So it is not common to anyone who's using the glucometer, but for a CGM, us putting insulin at 120 or 110 is also common if our sugars are rising fast, right? I mean,
Right.
so that makes it a game changer.
It works very well because see, pump can, it's different for different diabetics. Nothing, it doesn't work the same.
Right.
So generally, for me, what happens is right now it's 112, but the pump is showing down arrow and it's switched off. It switches off on its own.
Right.
What I did was, why I ate something was because the pump is also showing 1.5 unit. So that 1.5 unit is going to get my sugar down by another 60-70 points.
True.
So then it's going to be like 50 or something, which I don't want to land up in.
Right.
But again, if the pump would have said, it would have switched off at 112 and I knew there was 0 units, I would have thought about what I ate. So I am very specific about what to do when.
Right.
And that is also because of experience, I'll tell you. And more is observing your body, and even I like to keep targets. If that is the range, I feel our performances are much better.
True.
We definitely, I don't think, you fall ill. There are no cold cough fevers is what I don't get, because sugars are good. Because diabetics are prone to infections very fast. And especially even the women with urinary tract infection and a number of infections, which then it goes hand in hand. No, high sugar infection doesn't go. If infection doesn't go, then high sugar stays.
Right.
So it's knowing your body well by observing it. See, the doctors, educators, everyone can just help you externally. They're there for you. But what you need to do is you need to do. When you got to do it, you got to do it.
Yes.
There is no escape, which I feel. And more of accepting it, openly is, I feel it's much easier. I'm not saying very easy, but it's much better than, staying in that thing of being less aware about it and let it be. Jane do. Jane do is not a great idea. For some time your sugars might be okay, up and down. But as you get older with diabetes, there where the impact starts happening and the period is lost. And if you learn during that period when you've just got diagnosed, it's going to help you longer. Later on, learning gets difficult because anyway sugars are moving a little bit up and down, because there are also then emotional changes which happen with sugar. Have you ever found that with a high sugar, have you ever got angry or upset, or has it impacted you anyway?
Um, so there were times when in my initial days I used to get angry with my friends, my mom maybe. So my friends did not know at that point of time that I was diabetic. It was very early days during my diagnosis. My mom knew, and she used to ask me to check my sugars. So she kind of knew, the mood swings which go.
So she knows the some symptoms, of high sugars.
Yes.
So it is one of the symptom which, if you observe it well, and I'll tell you, if you manage the sugar well, you will never remember you getting angry on anything now. I've come to a stage that even if the sugars are like 250, 300, my mental peace doesn't move.
Yeah.
It's just because you're more aware and you know that sugars are high, but I need to manage myself.
True.
And over a period you learn. So this used to happen very early stages when I was very young. But as you start growing with diabetes, it changes, right?
Right. Quick question to you. You are on a CGM and a pump.
Right.
Right? And it's a combination. They talk to each other, right? As I understand.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Let me disable you now.
Okay.
And let me ask you, if I want to take one thing away from you, what would you give me? And what would you be with? The pump or the CGM, and why?
I would give
would you
away
choose?
the CGM.
Okay, and be with the pump?
Be with the pump,
Okay.
because I have been on the pump for the past 15 years now.
Okay.
And initially the CGM was not there. CGM started just this 2-3 years back.
Right.
So when I recollect in about 2006 and all, the CGMs were so big.
Mm-hmm.
So and they were patched on your abs or the hand, and you had to carry that whole gadget. Okay, so that, and you couldn't see the record, you couldn't see the graphing.
True.
So I have managed my sugars just on the pump by regular checking. So I don't mind checking 6 times, 7 times,
Right.
but I don't want to give on the pump because I can set different basal rates.
Okay.
The whole thing is there's a lot more flexibility in the routine. We never realize that when exactly the sugars go up and when they drop. And especially for, I think most of the diabetics, morning, which is around 6 or 7, 5 to about 8. the hormones play a big role. I don't know if you've observed it. It's the time where the sugar starts moving, and if and the pump has helped a lot, and it's helping. I'm not saying that pen never helped. 15 years I was on syringe and pen, though management with the pump has become much more. A very simple I'll say is because some days like a Friday and Saturday I work at a center. Uh, I know my timing. I mostly have fixed timings of meals, but especially on a Friday, if I have back-to-back clients, it delays. And I know I can switch off my pump. I can check my sugar and just keep it off for some time. The insulin is not going. Now, what happens in the pen? You've already given a long acting, so that's the time where more cases of hypo happen. And I hate eating hypo tabs. I'm one person. I really don't, I don't want my sugars to go hypo. And I'm not that a sugary person, which I would like. I have now found out in other ways. Dates suit me. So a date is a quick, I can see that quick thing. So, and I try not to do it in hypo, not to get in hypo. So that flexibility of routine I've got because of the pump. I've got it for my exercising as well. I've got it when, when there's a lot of work and you're back to back. That's changed. So then I said, okay, CGMS I can give up on, but keep the pump with me. Because that's what I started with.
Can you guess what I would choose?
You would choose CGMS.
Okay. Maybe because most of my activity just involves sleeping.
Right.
And yours is
Very, so that's also, if people didn't know about it, I want to say in sleeping your sugars stay much better, very well.
True.
And when you do more activity, there is the time when you need more insulin also, and you need to make those changes.
True.
And this I have been observing from number of years, and specifically when I do a very heavy weight training, people will think you need less insulin. It's exactly the opposite. You need more insulin.
Yes.
So CGMS is, so I wouldn't want to give up on any of it, but when you said give up on one, I would want to keep the pump, because initially there was no CGMS. We've lived with it. I've lived for the in 50 years of my pump, it's about 13 years. I have lived with only the pump. CGMS was not there. Okay, you put that patch once in 14 days, they take the reading and give it to you.
Yes.
But now things have changed, and I also go off. I do a sensor break in between.
Okay.
So no sensor for 2-3 days.
Oh.
Because I need to learn to live without it also. And now what has happened is we started getting addicted. I can't do without the pump forever only now. And it's so happened that I use also the continuous monitoring. Even if the patch is over that day, within 2 hours my next patch is already put. But then I decided, it's important to go on a sensor break also. Because what if it's not available? So it shouldn't be that you can't, it's not that you can't do anything about it. You need to know that old school, what we learned, you need to be there.
Right.
So I do a 2-3 days sensor break in between.
Right.
So then it also teaches me, okay, I need to calculate here. I need to check my sugars. I need to do it often, because with the pump you just do it 2 times calibration.
Also, few weeks back when we were speaking, I learned that you were on an injection for some time. Yeah, for a few hours. Can you tell us about that experience?
That's been like a scary story, but I was laughing on myself.
Okay.
I went for a girls' trip to Turkey, and myself being an educator, it was like my bad that I didn't carry lanterns. So I have been traveling with the pump everywhere, and probably it did come to my mind like things are going fine, everything is fine, and I've traveled everywhere, like within India, outside India. I had one episode in Goa which had happened, but I didn't learn from it. So Turkey, first 4 days we were in Istanbul, everything went well. Then we went to a very small beach town called Bodrum. We landed and everything was going good, and my sister and her friends, we all friends, they were sitting on the beach side, and they said, I said, okay, pump was beeping, it showed low battery. So I said, okay. So I said, girls, I'll catch you all. I'll finish. I'll just go change the battery. Now I went to the room. I removed the battery. I inserted the new battery. Pump didn't work. 4 batteries gone. Then it was a situation. Now what? I didn't go out for 1.5 hours. Then my sister called up, like, where are you? So I told her my pump is not working. In the meantime, I already called Rahul from Medtronic, and he said, Pooja, there is no help of Medtronic in that place where you've gone. I said, okay, my mind had already started calculating. I knew there was no Lantus, so I knew I had to take Humalog every 2 hours. Strips were enough. I had carried all my other supplies properly. That one mistake of not carrying a Lantus costed me one night. But I didn't know that Bodrum chemist shops so many chemist shops had Lantus available. So first of all, there was a little language problem. So I went at the reception, and this woman was very good because others didn't understand. So I was trying to explain it to her, and she said, when the duty changes, the person will come. You will have to wait for the night. And online we had searched. Luckily at 12 o'clock, it was 12 a.m. in India, and it was 8 p.m. there. Dr. Yadnik picked up, and we both had a laughter. He said, Pooja, and he started laughing about it. And I said, pump is not working, and sugars are as of now fine, but I know I will have to inject. So he said every 2.5, 3 hours, which I was prepared for, but I had not taken my, the habit of taking Lantus has stopped from the last 15 years, or even injecting. So I'm not saying that every now and then my sugars go high. So when they go high, then when I prick, but otherwise I'm not pricking. So I was prepared. I was unhappy, but I was not very happy that situation. Luckily, my sister was very normal because she heard me talk to the doctor. I had put on the speaker, and I was yet playing with my pump, trying all the sort of things, and it didn't start. And she said, doctor is so chilled out. I'm not worried. So both her friends are like, what can we help? And every night we had planned a night out. Go out and come. I only made sure was I ate more healthy. I tried to not do too much carbs. See, I was taking the injection, but I didn't want the sugars to shoot up because that one night was very important. And you know how it feels is when you're off the gadget, and after so many years not using a pump, no, it becomes very difficult. And apparently, morning at 7 o'clock, I went to the reception. This chemist got 5 pens of Lantus.
Okay.
And he injected for me. He said, you wait, I'll do it. And it was great help. And then I realized that sometimes, don't be very overconfident that mishaps can happen. And this was a very crucial thing, What if I didn't have enough insulin? What if I didn't get a Lantus? So I was prepared, and we had another 2.5 days to come back to Mumbai, and then me coming back to Pune. See, getting to Mumbai was yet fine. So I'll say learning experience, a little scary, but I have always had some crazy experiences on travel. Every time something different coming up.
Right.
So I'm always prepared. So my brain works fast. It'll not make me say now what. It does work, and I know whom to call. I know what to do, and I'm prepared for it. But I don't advise this to people, because many times at that situation you'll not be able to help yourself, or even the people sitting beside you don't know. And it's very important to teach people even the pump. Though my mother, I'm teaching her little, she doesn't know it much, because I keep telling her, if something happens to me, how are you going to manage?
True.
Sometimes, so I always tell her that, Mama, you don't know it. Little bit you should know. So I learned my lesson is no matter what. Now I go to Bombay, also carry a pen of Lantus, so that situation doesn't arise. But even the 4 days without the pump, I miss the pump because you're so used to removing it and moving it. My sister is like nothing is attached, just chill. But the Lantus help and the help from the people at the hotel was good. And because of internet and all, I could search the chemist. I was ready to go to an hour and a half away chemist to get it. So that's how it was, a scary but a very learning experience. And now I'm more careful in packing my travel kit.
So,
Did you have any? But right now as per travel, anything which you've not carried and something which has just come up for you?
Uh, so knowing the person I am, I'm obsessed with my sugars all the time.
Okay.
So I make it a point to carry a dia bag
Yeah.
or stuff in my pocket. However, this scary experience happened with me once, where I lost my insulin pen, and we're trying to search frantically. Uh, it was a concert. We're trying to search, and we did not get it. I still haven't got it. My sugar was 140. Home was 25 minutes away. Reached home at 160, which is a reasonable level.
decent,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is a very reasonable level. I obviously had a pen at home. So guys, please have spare pens.
Spare pens or syringes.
Yes, that's very important.
Correct.
Yeah. Also have needles. You never know when your needle will get blocked.
Correct.
Or when it gets
Yes.
useless. Right. Also one more thing. Since Pooja mentioned the Lantus and the fast-acting insulin and stuff. Okay. Would like to put a shameless Gyan plug here, where I would say that if you are correcting a high sugar, please take you're fast acting on your abdomen area, right?
Perfect.
And your lantus on your buttock. Okay, because buttock has the slowest absorbing rate, and we need our lantus or our basal to last, right? So, and we don't need it to be fast absorbed. So,
Do
yeah.
you really feel so? So I know abdomen, but my insulin patch is right now on my upper butt. I'm
Okay.
using it since 1.5 year.
Okay.
And my sugars are doing fine.
Okay.
So I have, so I was using the patch on my abdomen for 10 years.
Right.
So there was a small atrophy created.
Right.
Because that much is the only place you have to put the patch.
Right.
Then my doctor in Mumbai, Dr. Chandalia, just told me, Pooja, try to use different areas. I can't use the thigh because I am an exercise person. The patch comes out. Hand, difficult. Where do we attach the wire? That's the whole thing. Upper butt is the area which I found the best till now.
Okay.
The whole thing is because it has the enough fat which you need, and once the patch is glued, no, it doesn't come out till you really want to take it out.
Okay.
And I've had beautiful sugars apart from that. That's why this question I asked you is, you're saying slow absorption happen at the buttock. That's your experience or people's experience?
Okay.
I didn't know that, huh?
Okay. That's purely my experience.
Okay.
And I also have read stuff which backs the same. Also, what I would like to say is that, like I've experimented a lot with a single dish, say upma, right? So upma will spike you like anything.
It does.
Right?
Poha or upma.
Poha or upma will spike you like anything, right? Put it on your abdomen, wait for 40 minutes, and see
then
your
eat.
sugars. Yeah. Put it on your thigh. Wait for the same amount of time. You will see that your insulin is trying to catch up with the spike, but it does eventually. But it takes some time. And when you said the upper buttock, that your sugars are flawless, right? I would like to say that. Yeah, you are on a pump, so you are on a jet flight. I am still in a train,
in a
right?
train, yeah.
So,
No, yeah. So we always took, so whether injection pen or a syringe, I took on ab or a hand mostly, or a thigh. It's just that what happens with patches. You have areas, but every area is not comforting for people. So different diabetics find different areas very comforting. So when I see the thigh, it's time that patch always comes out. It's not worth that. So then. Abdomen is the fastest absorbing, but I'm trying to get like flat abs, so now I don't want it to interfere. So I tried the upper buttock, and that area, it's helped me. It's helped me. So it's again, I'll tell you, it's personal experience. What suits you the best, do it. Actually, that's very important. Yeah.
So it's not one size fits all kind of thing.
Right. But I'm very glad to know that for you, or what you've read, that there is slow absorption which happens from that area.
Yeah.
Which is very important.
Yeah.
I want to come up to Pioneer because you love sleeping, but do you exercise? So you said you're over obsessed about your sugars, but do you exercise?
Okay. That's a very good and a tricky question. Yes, I do exercise.
What do you do?
So I have a choice, like between playing table tennis in my office and running 3 kilometers in the evening.
Right.
So the table tennis in my office is very aggressive.
Okay.
It's equivalent to running 3 kilometers.
Okay.
So I do either of these. But yeah, I make it a point not to miss it. 20 or 30 minutes per day. But your sugars remain sorted.
Yeah, fair enough. That's nice.
The sugars remain sorted. You feel good about it, right? So yeah, I do these things. So I make it a point to be active whenever I'm awake, at least.
Right.
So,
right. We met. So actual conversation happened on the last run we met. It was at the last run happened at the park.
Wait,
Sambhaji
sorry,
Park.
shameless. Shamelessly, I'm stopping you. Tell me about your exercise routine and your crazy dance routine as well.
Alright.
Yeah.
I love exercising. So exercising came as a part of being a diabetic, in my life. My dad, again, he said 2-3 things. You want to manage your sugars well. It's not very difficult. Your routine exercise will help. A regime, good diet, and taking your insulin on time and checking your sugars. So exercise became like, it just got inbuilt. So can you imagine, at the age of 9, I used to play. we have good area here. I was always a person who used to play outside.
Mm-hmm.
Now that when you know a condition, my father used to every ground of Pune he's taken me. So he used to wake me up and he's taken, and then I learned badminton at that time. I did basketball. At the end of it, for me, aerobic, walking, it worked. Slowly, gradually in college, I also did gym, and I just saw one thing was when I was doing good exercise, sugars were working phenomenal. Sugar was one part, when you're growing at a young age with diabetes, even the mind was quite sorted. It was, and girls, I feel adapt very fast. I feel that they're more sincere sometimes than boys, the naughty kind of them.
Okay.
So I got a regime in my life very fast, and I already knew that this is what I want. And what's helping is the exercise. So I made it, so it became my passion. Then I started walking and I was exercising. I got to running, and it so happened is when my sisters both play tennis, and their coach told me, I see you every day walk for 1.5 hours, and why don't you think of a marathon? And this I'm talking about 2004. And I said, what's marathon? I don't know. This is a word Latin American to me. So I said, okay. I definitely practiced for it. And that's how running came into my life. And I saw the sugars doing even better. And yeah, there were like the times of different exercises. I tell you, shoot you. I liked this. Dancing, I've done my childhood. I was learning Kathak for 6-7 years, but it got stopped because of 10th standard. And 3 years back, I met a lovely. I had met Rocky Nawala. He about in 2008, and then he came to me as my client, and then he said, down the lane is a class, join me. So again, one form of exercise, plus I like dancing. So in all combination is workout,
Right.
is doing things what you like, and I love to do every activity, whether it's a kayaking or it's a hiking or it's cycling. I have just found of exercising basically, and it's kept me fit. And very you get very sorted in a lot of things when you do these different things.
True.
Because different forms of exercise teach you as a diabetic different things, and I learned a lot of learning happened during my period of training for a marathon. We were never taught that after 250 sugars you must not exercise. This was not told to us. I found out when I was preparing for a marathon. I found out foods which were helping me. So, before I thought of doing the runs, I'd gone to meet Dr. Yadnik. So, Pooja, I don't know much, but you find out and you share your experiences. So that learning it was beyond, it got me a lot of confidence. Plus, when you experiment on yourself and it's right, I could say, yes, you can do this. Now I can tell people, yeah, do this, don't do that. So exercise is my passion, and right now also I'm crazy about it. How much of a time I get, if I get 2 hours also, morning, evening, I don't mind spending time doing that than anything else. I love it. I love it. And I would yet say all the diabetics, it's one thing which will keep your sugars good, will keep you fit, will keep you younger, and it will de-stress you. It's one thing which you need to like, and I'm not saying it has to be a run or a cycle or something. It could be a sport, it could be a dance form, anything which gives you happiness. It's not what others are doing. You find out, there's so many things, try. Because you said you like table tennis, which is very good. So what happens in TT is you're enjoying your game, at the same time activity is happening. So sugars are managing any which ways. So you're getting happy with the same sugar management, and that's what at the end of it we need, right? Your sugar is getting good and you're happy at the same time.
And then, in fact, you guys get instant proof, that exercise actually sorts your sugars out. So, if you're not on a CGM, just measure your sugar before exercise and
After.
5 minutes after exercise, maybe.
After exercise, and also 6 hours after. So actual effect of exercise, which I learned during my runs, was 6 hours after.
Right.
You see much better sugar.
Much better.
Much better sugar. In fact, and different exercises work differently. A gym training works on your sugars 24/7, and a cardio works for that 12 hours. So you'll come to know, and management becomes much easier because this weapon is in your hand.
Yes.
Nobody has to give it to you. It's you who has to do it, right? So not difficult. Not difficult. It's just that you need the right mindset, and you need people around you also to be motivated.
Right.
I always had. So my father is a very motivated. He is himself. He used to be a tennis player, a table tennis player during his college times, and we had sports in the family. So understanding about a condition and then taking steps is what I learned from him. and not giving it up, do it, sort it out. That was the whole thing. And exercises today also, it's helping me. I'll tell you, the happiness I get after finishing a workout is just like one more day of adding to
I can see the Fitbit, so I can see the passion.
you can see
yeah.
the Fitbit, yeah, and then it helps me motivate people who are non-diabetics also. So now what happens is, if she can do it, why not we try? This is what's happening. So everyone here are doing something or the other. My group is there, my team which helps me with my office work, and my social media team, all are getting to there, and I want everyone to get fit. It's just that everyone around you should be happy and fit,
Right.
because what I have experienced, I want everyone to experience.
True.
It's
True.
more fun. In fact, now I'm going to get to the point. Last run we met, and you write blogs and you love writing, and I want to know about your blogs. No?
Okay. So what I believe is that reading helped me personally control my sugars, sort them out. I felt that what if I could, summarize whatever I've learned in a single blog,
Right.
okay, in a single topic, like summarize something on insulin dosing or carb counting, right? And then help others, because most of the bloggers I know are firangs,
Right.
like most of the really kick-ass bloggers, right? So we say follow Andy Brown, right? So these people are amazing, but I don't know if an average Indian reader would be able to connect to them.
Correct.
Okay. So what if you share your own experiences, you personalize, you give your hacks in a blog, right? You keep them a little interesting, a little funny, a little sarcastic as well at the same time, right?
Right.
So those are the kind of pieces I like writing. A few of my blogs are, say, on carb counting, insulin dosing, okay, on sugars and sleep. Bracket, that's one of my favorite because it has more memes than material. So yeah, I like that. Then okay, I also went around the town, so around Pune, eating at various places, rating them on how friendly they are for diabetics. Will they switch fries for a salad? Right? Are they clean enough that you can bolus there? Right? Uh,
How was your experience about that? Now I must get there, because many
Okay.
times people are overdoing it or people are not doing it.
Right.
Right?
Right. So most of the places I went were, very accommodating uh, to diabetics. I found out a lot of health cafes. There are places where diabetics can eat waffles, which are just like 36 grams of carbs.
That's
So
lovely.
that's quite
Which
good,
is that
right?
place?
Yeah. I would have said read the blog, but I'll give it out. It's called Sorted Delicatessen. It's in Kalyani Nagar.
Okay.
So you guys should surely try that. Also, what I learned is, so there was this point of time where I was in a flight and I had to write a blog. So along with the places I visited, I also reviewed flight food. That what you
Right.
can actually order when
Right.
while traveling, what kind of food you can order. So Boy About Town, yeah, it was a monthly thing which used to come out. Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully it'll begin again. So
We
watch
must
out for
have
that.
it there, because many times what happens is, I'm also a nutrition counselor. So many times people feel is, healthy food is not tasty. I last week just went to Zen Cafe, and the food was amazing,
Yes.
and my sugars, they didn't go beyond 170 after the meal of, I did sweet potato with a dip.
Okay.
I did the Mexican bowl, and I also did a vegan panna cotta.
Okay.
And we shared, definitely we shared. We're not doing the whole meal, but I think a decent dosing of my bolus was phenomenal. So we do have cafes and the food is tasty. It's how you think about the food. If
Right.
you think that only pav bhaji is going to be great for you, then you need to work on the carb counting.
True, true. In fact, guys, what I feel is that if you're on an injection, and if you go and tell the restaurant, hey, give me my food after 20 minutes,
Right.
after 25 minutes, like there's no need to be ashamed.
Yeah, there's no need to be.
Yeah, and you need to wait for your insulin to start its action, right? I
Yes.
mean, if you eat instantly, if you are bombarding your body with carbs with no insulin cover, it will do no good to you, right?
Yeah, many
So-
times, even on the pump, I take my units and I wait for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Though I'm using the fastest acting, but I know at certain times, because I'm going to eat certain food.
Right.
And I am a very basic. I need my roti, I need my
Right.
rice, and I need my dal. I never do a low carb diet. I will do a basic balanced diet. I'm not saying a high carb, but an Indian thali.
Controlled
And
carb,
controlled
which-
carb.
yeah.
And I'm not doing rice and roti at the same time, but
Mhm.
I need my the jua roti. So I don't eat meat,
Right.
but I do the other millets, and I need it. And then I know my dosing, because my belief is, if this food is going to give me the nutrition which I need for my exercising, I'm not going to compromise on it.
Yeah.
I will adjust my doses. Even if I have to take a unit more. See, so we are, so here there's become a race of, कौन कम units लेता है, which I have been seeing and I've been noticing. It's not about take less, take more. Take what your body needs and take it to manage your sugars. Because I want to do my exercise and I cannot afford to not eat. So at the same time, I don't want to become weak. I want that food, and I know a balanced diet can help you so much in your exercise without you losing the glow, without you losing the charm, and you yet performing. So for those who really have issues with managing sugars, can go on a low carb for a bit of time, till they really figure out that now the sugars are coming in range, and then how they can introduce. But there's absolutely nothing like just go on a low carb, because maybe in future it may not help you as a nutrition and a growth factor wise.
Yeah.
That's what I want to come to the point, because in the group and community, when we go, we're seeing that everyone wants to do a low carb and all. Like, I'm a pure vegetarian, so even I don't eat egg. So how do I think in that way? So when I eat it, I should be happy eating it, right? I cannot say, oh yeah, this person is taking less insulin and I'm going to try. But that bowl what I'm eating needs that X amount. I need to give that amount.
Yeah.
So just be what you are. Don't try to be what someone else is doing, because every diabetic body is different. It works differently. Maybe two idlis may suit me and it may not suit you at the same time.
Yeah.
So you go accordingly. So what do? You do a low carb or medium carb, or how is your diet?
Okay. Uh, I do a controlled carb.
Very
Okay.
nice.
You spoke of Zen Cafe moments back, right?
Yes.
I was right behind Zen Cafe yesterday at a place called 1441 Pizzeria.
Okay.
It's a really good place, and if you guys haven't gone, you should totally try the pizza there. It's good, and I would like to show my graph after having pizza for dinner and upma for breakfast.
Right.
And this is my graph. Can you see if it has gone out of range? Like, it hardly has, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to learn how to be a carnivore, you guys can either ask Pooja or me, and we can give you some hacks and tips,
Yeah,
quick tips.
they have to be
Yeah.
bad. So even if you do, so I have, so depending on what and where the pizza comes from depends my sugar also.
Right.
Like a Domino's doesn't suit me.
Yes.
A Pizza Hut may not suit me.
Right.
But the place you buy a thin crust,
Yes.
and with a lot of veggies, that doesn't cause an issue. And again, like, as you said, take your insulin 20 minutes, 30 minutes before it.
Yeah.
And plus, first specifically, I'm talking about pizza. A pizza sugar will only rise not after 2 hours, but after 5-6 hours. So you be prepared for that. So keep an alarm and get up to check.
So that's why I took it. So that's why I ate pizza on a Friday, because I knew the next day I do not have office. I can wait till like 12, 1, whatever, and I can keep a tab on my sugar. So that was my strategy behind
Which
having
is
it on Friday.
smart move.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. So you are well aware about the places where you want to eat, and because of your blogging as well.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy blogging?
Yeah, of course I do. I really like when people walk up to me and ask me to write on certain topics,
Right.
because that actually hits home.
Correct.
That actually is useful, right? I mean, just asking people to do some generic stuff does not make sense. You need to share your own experience. Okay, I ran 50 kilometers, right? But what did I eat?
Right.
Right? How much did I bolus?
Correct.
I ate a pizza yesterday. I took 12 units. I ate 5 slices. And my sugar before was 100. After was around 120, 130. So
Phenomenal.
these are the kind of information you should give.
Right.
Instead of just giving some generic stuff to people that, okay, fine, like measure yourself 5 times while running, or drink plenty of water while running. Everyone knows that we
Any
need
of
to,
that.
yeah. So just be very specific and to the point.
I love to share my experiences.
Yeah.
There are specifically, I'll say that this suited me and try it.
Yes.
I'll say try it because it may suit you, but it may help you. It may not suit you exactly what it
Right.
is, but at least, people will now think that you said, okay, yeah, let me bolus 20-25 minutes before and figure it out and then check later on and see. That will change, right? And then you increased your dose at the same time, right?
Yes.
So that was the point. So many times people want to take that less units and eat everything. It doesn't work, and there where carb counting comes in. He has also written a blog on carb counting, and I hope very soon we get to read that.
Yeah, sure.
Because see, there is a lot of information, but that information when you yourself go through it and share, the value of it increases a lot, and that's what people want to know also.
Right.
And then nowadays, how has the diabetes community helped you? You are also part of a number of communities,
Right.
and what difference it caused in your diabetic life?
Mm, so what I feel is that the diabetes community has got me sorted a year or two before I actually would be able to sort myself. I would have taken much longer. Thanks to the people around me, Dr. Jog, Dr. Meena Kumari, Sai, you also, I saw you for the first time in that Kothrood wala run, and you said that you're diabetic since 29 years, and you were just jogging away to glory, and I was like, oh shit, what's she doing? I mean, is she okay? So that actually helped me a lot, and knowing people's experiences, like the mistakes which you guys have made as kids, as teenagers. That with that I got to learn a lot.
Right.
Right. Even today, teenagers are the most difficult people to deal with. I mean, teenagers come to me and ask me for help,
Right.
and they'll be like, Mihil, I've given them clear instructions that do not eat when you're at 200. And someone called me the other day, hey Mihil, I'm at 400, what should I do? So I asked him to send me his graph. And his graph was at 250 and it spiked to 400. So I said, hey, but I asked you not to eat when you were above 200. And his response was, मैंने वड़ा पाव खाया क्योंकि मेरे को भूख लगा था.
So here, I'm pausing at that point. So many times when sugar rises, I want to tell you that you will have hunger pangs. Now, how to curb them is either so things which will not raise your sugar is cucumber, tomato, buttermilk, and if they're really high, do warm water with lemon. It will just curb your hunger for that time. Wait. 400 and eating makes no sense because again you're going to pump in insulin which will cause another low. So if you're hungry, pick up the right things. You can pick up a salad, you can pick up buttermilk, you can pick up nimbu pani, and maybe sometimes a little bit fist of chana also works. It's just to satisfy that mental thing of mujhe bhook lagi hai. So that's why I said, because this is the mistakes what generally diabetics do, and I'm not saying mistake, because the body gets very hungry when sugars are low, and it gets very hungry when sugars are high, and it's individualistic. So for me, I never used to get hungry when sugars used to go high, and now it's different. It's different because once in a while they go high and I'm very hungry.
So your symptoms change, right?
My symptoms, I've come to a stage where there is hypoglycemia unawareness. Same symptoms for high and low blood sugar.
Right.
It's just because of CGMS and me checking regularly. I know because my mental, I'm like this only happy. So my face is happy and there are no symptoms coming apart from sweating, a little bit of being unconscious. So low sugar symptoms are clear, but sometimes those also are not clear. So because when you are used to a very strict regime of keeping sugars and you get to close to 70, 80, that 60 and 50 also makes you comfort, which is a not great thing. So getting a graph definitely helps.
And so again, so being in a community, right? So I learned a lot from the community. So my blogs are a way to give back to the community.
Right.
I also try and spend my Saturdays at KEM diabetes unit, helping people, like giving them small tips, hacks, stuff like that.
So every Saturday you've been going?
Whenever I get time, whenever I have a couple
I miss
of
on
hours.
it really badly because I'm stuck up here and at the Market Center, so not able to come.
But you should totally come someday, right? I mean,
I had told Dr. Yadnik if it was some other day than Saturday, it would have been much more easier for me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's always good to talk, and people have so many doubts, and when they're just diagnosed, I want to be there for them, because when we were diagnosed, I was diagnosed, I didn't. So apart from my parents and doctors, there was no other help. There was no community, and definitely community. You feel you're in the crowd. You feel the crowd is doing it together. So no matter what, you know that you can move with the crowd, and it gives you that stepping stone of sorting your life as diabetic also. Some people will get that change in themselves.
True.
So our community also makes us run. We have the run which is going on. I have not gone for 3 runs because there's some event going on, but I hope so. Have you been there for a couple of runs now, or you've been missing?
So last 3 times I've run away from the runs.
Now you're going to get back then.
But yeah, I'll get back. Yeah, I'll get
Because
back
Mihil
soon.
and his mom has been there for most of the runs. Your
Yeah.
mama is always
She wakes me
there.
up for the runs.
Yes.
I'll be like, let me sleep, let me sleep. But
Right.
yeah.
So, what would you want to tell the newly diagnosed diabetics? Like, because, even if you have been diagnosed with diabetic just 2, 3 years back, you have done your studying really well. I mean, you know a lot more things, which is, as I talk to you, you know a lot more things. So, what would you want to tell them, just your piece of advice a bit.
Uh, so for the newly diagnosed folks, right?
Yes.
It's just a question of two things. One is hyper and another is hypo. You know what to treat your hyper with, you know what to treat your hypo with. Carry these two weapons and you'll be sorted. I mean, it's as simple as that. That's a quick tip. And do as much reading as possible, as much as experimentation as you want. It's okay to fail sometimes. I mean, it'll teach you a lesson which you can share with other people, right? We learn from each other's failures. Talk to as many people as you can. Like even if you're newly diagnosed, we may learn something from you which we didn't know. I mean,
Right.
right? So yeah, say a newly diagnosed is using X insulin,
Right.
and you'll be like, okay, fine, let me study, let me read about it, right? So you get to know like new stuff. Like as a newly diagnosed, I had this insulin called Eglucent. How many of you know Eglucent? Hardly any of you,
Hardly.
right? Yeah, but Eglucent was there, and and now the newly diagnosed folks are I'm seeing a lot of them having FIASP. So
I don't know about it.
exactly. So
I know Rover Rapid, I know Insugen, I know maybe Actrapid, and because I've done diabetes educators, Humalog, so I think yes. So then, and then type 2s are using some other ones also, right?
Yes.
The insulin, which changes.
Yes. So exactly. So FIASP, Eglucent, stuff like that. We get to know some cool things from you guys, right?
Right.
So yeah, and talk to as many people as you can, read as much as you can. Yeah, that's it. And now, so once we are done with that, let's play a small game
Okay.
dedicated to the newly diagnosed.
But before that, I have one question.
Sure, tell me.
So Mihir, you're into making apps and all.
Mhm.
Have you ever thought of doing any app? I want to work with you on something related to the app which can help, everyone. Something which they can calculate easily.
Mhm.
So putting their sugars in and recording it and just seeing it. That one graphing, if they get it, just basically, yeah, a lot of people are coming with it. Have you ever thought of doing something, or is it in your mind, or whatever you're thinking?
I'm not thinking. I am thinking how to formulate my answer.
Right.
There's a very simple answer to this. Uh, there is an app called My Sugar, which I've been using since the time of my diagnosis
Okay.
to log my sugars,
Right.
my food, my insulin, my carbs, my
Ah.
exercise. It's a
Okay.
one-stop shop.
Right.
Okay, this app has been made for diabetics by diabetics.
Okay.
Okay, so I saw through a lot of apps. I found this to be the best.
Right.
And if something is available, why reinvent the wheel? Is
True.
what I feel.
I didn't know about this app.
Yeah. So I have reviewed it as well.
Right.
It's up on YouTube. You guys can go and check it out.
Right.
Shameless PR plug. But yeah. So this is an amazing app. All of you must use it, especially the newly diagnosed, because that will give the doctor a full picture of what you've eaten, what were your sugars, uh, and when did you exercise, how much bolus did you take, stuff like that, right? How much basal did you take? It also tells you that how much you've corrected in a day, the percentage of correction you've done in a day, to the
Right.
percentage of bolus. It also gives a percentage of basal to bolus.
Oh.
So that's an amazing thing to have, right?
Correct.
So all these statistics, if a doctor sees, they can
help you much better.
Help you much better, right? You're not supposed to show the trailer to a doctor. You're supposed to show an entire movie to the doctor.
Correct.
And that's why I believe in graphs and this app. So I have an article on logging also, how important logging is. Right? You should log your stuff. Like I have logged everything. Like yesterday's pizza, I took 12 units. Next time I go to the same place, I'll just search for pizza. It'll show me I had taken 12 units. My sugars were sorted. I'll not think again.
This is what I'm going to learn from you, because I have stopped logging. Because the thing is, the graph is doing it and it comes the record, right? And my food is same. My food rarely changes. So I know how much to take for what, but I think this is a good idea to do.
Yeah.
Because I usually check my sugars when I do different meals outside. And so the next time I know how much to take, but it's not in a log form. I'll do that. I'll try that. So it's my sugars, correct?
Yes, it's called my SUGR. Okay. So I try to depend less on my brain and more on my phone. So yeah, I mean, we have a brain in our pockets. So
one is that, and one is how do you carb count? I want to do that. How do you do carb counting? Because you've written a blog on carb counting and a little bit information, if you can share, so that people can start thinking about it.
Okay, so I'm giving these tips does not mean you do not read on carb counting. This is not an exhaustive thing.
Right.
So, most of us are literate, right? And we can read the nutritional information which is behind every packet, right? That's point one. That's how you can carb count. The first thing is when you eat packed foods, try and avoid eating packed foods, but say candies, chocolates, Nutri bars, they are packed, right? You can easily see how many grams of carbs are there, and you can bolus accordingly, right? That's point one. The second point is that say so we have we have an amazing list of Indian foods, Indian as well as foreign foods on the internet, and it's as easy as googling pizza carbs.
Yes.
Pizza one slice carbs. I mean, how difficult is that to Google 5 minutes before you have your pizza?
Right.
It's very easy. And one more thing is that restaurants like Sorted Delicatessen, they have carb information in their menu. That what has how many carbs, how many fats, how much fiber, everything. No. Right. So that's something which all these restaurants need to come up with. Like it's not only for diabetics, it's for all health conscious people. I mean, you have a health theme. Why not just come up with the amount of carbs?
People will get crazy if everyone does that, you know. I'll tell you, they'll be like instantly, oh my god, how many carbs I've eaten. For a diabetic, saying that is okay, I feel, but others saying that is going to be too much. That's what I feel. Okay. So, just interfered there. But how do you decide this many carbs and how many units? What's the calculation?
Okay. My insulin to carb ratio, read up on what that is first. Insulin to carb ratio is 1:10. Okay. It's as simple.
So when you take 1 unit,
it covers 10 grams of carb. Okay. Right? Okay. I'll give you guys one more hack. Right. Okay.
How did you calculate that? Now let's just get into a little bit of an information to give, then people will think about calculating it also, right?
Right. Okay. Amazing. So how did I calculate that? I calculated that with trial and error, obviously. I calculated my so the first rule for any diabetic is FFF. Yashing sir has taught that to me.
Fix fasting first.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Right. So FFF. So I first fixed my fasting. I first fixed my basal. Right. And then what happened is I had a constant bolus. Say 9 units for breakfast, 9 units for lunch, and 9 units for dinner or whatever. That's all. So after that, I started noticing my sugars are going high. My sugars are going low. Right. And after that, what I noticed is that, okay, I'm having less carbs for breakfast. I'm taking 9 units and I'm going hypo exactly at 12. Correct. What does that mean? That means that I need to reduce my breakfast, my dose during breakfast, right? Also, what happens is when you have a total daily dose, okay, so say around 500 divided by your total daily dose, that is bolus plus basal will be your ICR.
Correct.
Right. So after that, I knew approximately that my ICR would be around 11 or so. Okay, but it took me a while to get to 10, to perfect my sugars and get to 10. Right. And now I blindly know that I eat a couple of apples, 30 grams, couple of medium-sized apples, 30 grams,
Three units.
3 units. Apples may spike me fast.
Right.
Wait a bit.
So the formula is 500 divided by your total daily dose
Yes.
to get to that value for a unit of insulin
Yes.
to carb ratio.
Yes.
I just purposely wanted to put this in so that people start thinking in that way, that how they can calculate.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's point one. Point two is okay. You would have been for two parties.
Yes.
Okay, barbecue nation kind of places.
Yeah.
With this unlimited food, right? So what strategy do you use there? And then I'll tell you my strategy.
Like the big lays have never helped me. Like a buffet doesn't work for me. Then I become very so though pump has an option of square wave, I use a dual wave. So part of your insulin going down and after some time.
Yes.
But I've noticed is I am a person who should eat a little quantity, can try, or that one plate, whatever it covers, that much.
Okay.
So now it's getting better. Not that because every a buffet breakfast or lunch, it doesn't help my sugars. So because we are we are trying to eat too many things. If I know it's a roti sabji dal chawal, I know I have to take 4 units. I just know it blindly. Home it's 4 units, going out to 6 units. But if I'm doing that apart from some Chinese, apart from that, it gets very tough. Then and I'm a person who I would like to eat little. So then how much would a teaspoon contain? That causes an issue with me. So I will not go for like this. But Barbecue Nation has, if there is only tandoor and something, I can yet do the spread very properly. So again, I pick up what to eat perfectly.
Yeah.
Buffets don't help me. So if I want to do even a bread, I hardly eat bread or a sweet, then I'll compromise on the idli I do. So I will do a calorie compensation for managing that many units. Or some days by fluke, that many units work. Every time it's not the same because different places cook differently. So I figure out what suits me, but a buffet doesn't suit me. So I don't. Now I've told myself is go for a buffet, but pick up your best thing to eat and be happy in that much.
Okay. So
How about you?
I have an interesting way. So I was going a few months back. There is this amazing restaurant in Bombay by this chef called Jigs Kalra.
Yes.
Right? And my boss was taking me there, and he said that, hey, Mihil, the chocolate over there is heavenly.
Right.
Yeah? Some nitrogen chocolate or something of that stuff. I'm like, cool. Fine. I'm like, how much time are we going to reach that place in? He told another 15 minutes. Food will take another 15 minutes to come.
So that's
Right? So that's 30 minutes. Okay, fine. I decided I'm going to have 100 grams of carb.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to have 100 grams of carb. So I took 10 units.
Right.
My sugars were in range, so I took 10 units. And once we reached there, sorted everything out. Every dish which was coming, I was calculating the carbs.
Right.
And I reserved a few carbs for my dessert. So I
Okay.
skipped some items. I took the ones I liked, and till I reached 100. 100 was my point where I said enough.
Enough.
Right? And I reached around, I would say, I was near 100 grams of carb, and I managed to have 2 chocolates and reach 100 grams. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
that was.
So you had planned and gone.
Yeah, you need to plan. You need to plan in
Right.
advance. I tell people that, guys, I'll come with you um, for buffets and stuff, but you tell me 2 hours in advance for me to mentally plan my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and you can eat
That's
like
a
a normal
good thing.
person. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
a
eat
good
like a
thing.
normal person. Yeah.
I personally don't enjoy buffet. I don't like a mix and match of lot of meats. So
Okay.
I'm very happy with 1-2 items. I love the spreads, but I have not had great experiences at the buffet. Now I'm going to try this of what you said. I will
Yeah.
try and do it now.
Yeah, please
Planning.
do that. Yeah. And let me
Probably
know
next
how
time
it
we'll
goes.
go together and we will
Yeah,
do
sure.
it.
Yeah,
Right?
and compare our graphs as well, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
That'll be cool.
Correct. And you were coming up with some game for the newly diagnosed.
Yes, so this game is dedicated to the newly diagnosed. Um, I'll tell a term. I'll say this term, and Pooja will tell me what comes to her mind when she listens to that term
Right.
in 5 seconds, and I will tell what comes to my mind when I listen to that term
Right.
in 5 seconds.
Okay.
That way they will at least know a few terms which are associated with diabetes.
Right.
Google them and
Read more about
them.
Yes.
Or maybe they can contact any of us, and we'll
Know
be more
more
than happy
about
to
it. Yeah, we're
discuss.
going to help.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, more than happy to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And it'll cost a meager charge of coffee at Zen. So
Unbelievable. Yes, yes.
yeah.
Right.
So cool.
Cool.
So
Let's go.
you wanna start?
Yeah, yeah. Let's.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. My first term is hyper.
Uh, Insulin.
Insulin. No rapid.
Humalog.
Humalog. Basal.
Bolus.
Bolus. Carb counting.
Food that I eat.
Food that you eat. Okay. Glucovita.
Glucovita is for your hypos.
Okay, for your hypos. Okay. Shivering.
A low sugar symptom.
Low sugar symptom. Okay. Low sugar symptom. Getting angry.
Hyper symptom.
Hyper symptom. Okay. Um, peeing a lot.
Symptoms of hypoglycemia.
Okay. Okay. Ketone strips.
Must have in your diabac.
Okay. So now you mentioned diabetic. So I would go into needles.
To prick.
To prick. Okay. Then a kink.
Kink.
You guys get a conk, right?
Yeah.
Your pump. So when your needle, I mean when you're attaching your pump, right? And that needle is not in place.
In place.
Yeah. And it does. So that does not deliver insulin properly, right?
Properly, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So your connection is conked.
Right.
Right. So
what do I think about that?
yeah, what do you think about that? Has it ever happened to you?
Really bad. Need to observe it properly.
Exactly.
Yes.
So observation, right?
Observation, yeah.
Yeah. So I would go on experimentation.
In everything I do.
In everything you do. Okay. So dance.
My passion.
Passion. Okay. Dance and sleep.
I like it, but not really getting great sleep. I can
Not
say
really
that.
getting it. Okay. Okay. Okay.
But sleep also manages sugar well. I want to put that down.
Yes. So management
Health
of sugar,
management
right?
of sugar, yes.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, that's
Yeah,
that.
great.
Yeah.
It was like a quick thing, but there's so many terms to learn from these small things.
Yes. That's true.
And let's just say one thing is, being a diabetic is, you've just become a diabetic. So it's just okay. Accept the condition and move ahead. I'll say that. And don't you think you're living happily? Are you happy with what you're doing?
Don't look unhappy from any angle.
It doesn't,
So,
and every one of us are doing our routine in each way. Some people like something, and he loves sleep, and I love exercising. But each one of us are managing our sugars well, just to be the way we are, just to compete with ourselves and reach a position and our dreams.
True.
So, to all you diabetics there, don't worry so much. As you get aware, read more, connect with us. We're always there to help you. Mihil has a lot of information. You can talk to him. And I want to say thank you, Mihil, for being here and spending your valuable time. And I really got to learn some lot which I didn't know related to cup counting also. Though I have studied a lot about it, because I am a person who has got fixed food in mind, it goes very easy for me. So I really got to learn some more, and especially about that buffet thing. I'm going to try again.
yeah,
So
we
thanks.
should do
We
that,
will do
right?
that,
Yeah,
yes, and
we'll
get
do a
the
review
experience.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thanks
your
for having me here.
great
Yeah.
time.